Hi, my name's Darren Rose. Welcome to Beta Records TV. Joining us today, Andy and Josh of Andy Clockwise. How are you guys doing?
Really good.
Great, man.
Great, thanks for being here. Andy, you're originally from Australia.
I am.
You've been here stateside for a few years. What are some of the biggest differences with music, Australia versus the United States?
In Sydney, it's a lot smaller, so we're a lot more competitive. In the US, especially in LA, it's a very supportive scene. Well, Josh just visited there recently. Would you say the same or what?
I did. I noticed a difference, especially in the audiences. You know, it's very much like, I'm here, it's your job to impress me. You know? Whereas in Los Angeles, people just go crazy to be a part of the experience, and in Sydney, it's very much like, all right, prove to us why we're watching you. Like
Australians, we sort of pride ourselves on knowing exactly what is going on in the world at all times, because we really do live down under, you know, it's a long way away. And so there's a certain pride taken in being on the cutting edge, you know what I mean?
Are you here for good now?
I'm a big old American.
Yeah?
The whole country is one of the places that's actually lived up to its reputation to me. Like how I watched American things and listened to American music and was obsessed with American pop culture when I was a kid, sort of exists here. So I really love it.
Was there a moment or an event that you knew that you wanted to make music for your life? Like that's what you wanted to do, this is it?
Yeah, it was Never Tear Us Apart by In Excess.
Really? Great song.
And it was that part that went, never tear us apart, and then the pause, and then the that was it. Full stop.
Josh, what about you?
I couldn't pinpoint a moment because I've just always been doing it. I had this karaoke machine that I found out I could multi-track on. So I was doing, the chord progressions to Beatles songs and then ripping out the George Harrison solos.
I can't speak for Josh, but music that put an attitude across to me and made me think about things in different ways from my mundane suburban middle-class life growing up in Sydney were things that got me the kicks,
Talk about how Andy Clockwise came to be.
I was just really broke, out of college, and sort of bumming around Sydney, hanging out in the art scene. And a friend of mine, she was a really good songwriter, and her father and mother had this amazing house in Sydney and said I could stay there if I did her album. So I recorded her album, and on the side I recorded myself a little album and sent it into the radio. And in Australia, it just went really good on the radio. In Australia, they have the radio station Triple J. It's like one station that plays all around the country, so it's not like the US.
Right,
so
that's a big difference.
It was a big thing, I made this sort of double album, by myself called Classic FM, which was this imaginary radio station. It was all narrated, and it was a double album, and half of the Australian music industry actually thought I'd gone off the rails a little bit. And we put it out and it went really well, so I started playing shows and touring and that sort of thing.
Andy, advice for young bands, young kids, someone just picking up an instrument, what do you say to them?
There's just no rules, you know what I mean? There's no rhyme or reason. There's no idea whether this works or this doesn't work, or this is a good thing or this isn't a good thing. I mean, Duke Ellington said there are two types of music, there's good and bad, and I'm a big believer in that. And I have the tendency to like bad music as well. It's just, I love it, I love that sort of anarchic thing about it.
As soon as I figured out that you could make sounds, that you could pluck notes from the atmosphere, like that music exists, you just have to make it. As soon as I found that out, the tables were turned. I just have always dedicated myself towards making noise.
I know you really like him, baby, with his tap jeans and his haircut. And his androgynous good looks. I gotta tell you, he's in a band, alright.